So with that, Mr. Pouliot, the floor is yours, sir.
Mr. Chair, honorable senators, it is a great privilege and pleasure for me to be here today, and I would first like to thank you for conducting this study and inviting the Bitcoin Embassy. My name is Francis Pouliot, and I am Public Affairs Director at the Bitcoin Embassy in
Slow down just a bit, because what you are saying is being translated, and they may not keep quite up to speed with you.
That's why we all talk so slow.
Right. So I'll start again.
We're not fast.
One of the reasons. So yes, I am a Public Affairs Director at the Bitcoin Embassy in Montreal, which I am representing here today. But I am also Chief Executive Officer of the Bitcoin Foundation Canada. My background is in public policy analysis and economics. The Bitcoin Embassy is a not-for-profit organization located on Montreal's Saint-Laurent Boulevard. Inaugurated in August 2013, it is the first physical space in the world dedicated to educating the public and encouraging the development of cryptocurrency technology. Our model has been replicated by many organizations all across the world. My goal today is to speak on behalf of one of the most important stakeholders in this process, the decentralized community of users, developers, and activists who participate in the Bitcoin ecosystem. My interventions today will focus on Bitcoin's nature as a digital money ecosystem and its social and economic benefits. There is a global social movement at the center of which lies Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. From programmers and mathematicians to lawyers and influential business people, the Bitcoin community is animated by a sincere belief that cryptocurrencies will bring about profound and positive change. Many consider the invention of cryptocurrencies to be one of the most significant technological achievements since the internet. This begs the question, what exactly is cryptocurrency? For the sake of simplicity, I will focus on the most important one of all, Bitcoin. Bitcoin is first and foremost a collection of technologies which are the result of decades of research in mathematics, cryptography, and distributed systems. According to renowned cryptocurrency expert Andreas Antonopoulos, Bitcoin can be conceived as the ingenious combination of the following new technologies: a decentralized peer-to-peer network called the Bitcoin protocol, a decentralized mathematical and deterministic currency issuance system called distributed mining, a decentralized transaction verification system called the transaction script, and a public transaction ledger called the blockchain. Perhaps more important than understanding how these technologies work is appreciating what they allow us to achieve: the creation of an integrated and completely independent digital, monetary, and financial ecosystem that is fully functional and continuously growing. It is the largest and most significant economic experiment in living memory, and its success will have profound socio-economic consequences. Bitcoin's most distinctive feature is that both its network and its currency are completely decentralized, meaning that they are not controlled by any individual or corporation, be it financial institutions or government agencies. Another feature is that the currency and payment network elements of Bitcoin are linked together by what we would call a symbiotic relationship. One simply cannot exist without the other. Bitcoin is at the same time the transaction network and the unit of value transmitted in that network. In any monetary or financial system, certain tasks need to be performed in order for the system to function, such as issuing a currency, preventing counterfeiting, validating transactions between users, keeping track of balance sheets, and physically or digitally storing money. These tasks are today performed by an oligopoly of financial institutions, credit card companies, and central banks. The ability of an individual to accumulate and transfer wealth is highly dependent upon these institutions. Traditional financial institutions and central banks require consumers to trust them if they want to have access to financial services and use national currencies. In just the last few years, we have witnessed all over the world countless credit card frauds, bank bailouts, money supply inflation, financial censorship, arbitrary asset seizures, and privacy violations. In other words, trust is continuously being breached. With Bitcoin, the tasks mentioned above are performed collectively by participants in the network in a decentralized manner. In essence, Bitcoin is a distributed consensus network that maintains a secure and trusted public ledger. The efficiency and coordination of those tasks is achieved because Bitcoin's underlying technologies were designed to produce incentive structures which participants will spontaneously follow. Trust in the system is based on computation and encryption rather than restricted access. This removes the risk of misuse, abuse, and system weakness that can come from centralizing control of a system in the hands of a few. Bitcoin also has interesting philosophical implications. In liberal thought, it is understood that individuals possess rights that are inherent to their very existence, as opposed to being granted by governments. Bitcoin is the first practical implementation of this concept when it comes to property rights. Digital assets are stored as entries in a decentralized ledger, and only the legitimate owner has access to the assets without relying on any third party, such as a bank. Inside the Bitcoin network, this right is inalienable and self-enforced through encryption techniques. Freedom of transaction is also absolute and irrevocable, since within the network it is extremely difficult or practically impossible to stop a transaction from taking place. The implications are not only philosophical. The liberating power of Bitcoin comes with considerable economic benefits. The Bitcoin network allows willing parties to transact instantly and directly with each other without the need for a trusted third party from and to anywhere in the world with minimal costs. No documentation or permit is necessary. It basically gives everyone on Earth, regardless of their status or wealth, the possibility to instantly teleport cash from one impenetrable vault to another. By removing the need to trust a middleman in order to conclude a transaction, Bitcoin removes all the economic inefficiencies or frictions related to intermediation. It makes commercial and financial activity cheaper, more convenient, and safer. It allows resources previously lost in transactions to be efficiently reinvested elsewhere. For the average user, Bitcoin will perform the exact same function as a credit card, albeit faster, with no risk of fraud or identity theft, and without the high fees. It is important for policymakers to remember the technological origin of cryptocurrencies. It is not simply another payment system to be studied within the conceptual framework of traditional financial services, nor is it simply a new form of money whose macroeconomic properties can be studied out of context, as if it was just another foreign currency, commodity, or precious metal. Bitcoin's growing adoption must be viewed within the scope of creative destruction, the process by which new and better technologies replace their obsolete predecessor. Everybody gains from such a process, except the business models that are gradually rendered obsolete, which most likely will be the most vocal in their effort to slow the rise of digital currencies. In this respect, I speak uniquely of Bitcoin, whose primary function is to transfer value. Other cryptocurrency systems, which allow self-enforcing smart contracts, decentralized autonomous corporations, decentralized marketplaces for goods, services, and financial products, are currently being developed. If these technologies become functional and widely accepted, there is really no limit to the efficiency gains that we can achieve. Of course, with more freedom comes more responsibility, which is synonymous to increased risk. Bitcoin has suffered from cyber attacks, reputation damage, bankruptcies, government restrictions, and incredible price swings. It was pronounced dead several times, yet it is still here and is stronger than ever. This is because risks in Bitcoin are assumed primarily by individual actors and are not transferred to the system as a whole. The failure of one actor does not negatively affect the viability of the system. In fact, the Bitcoin system loves these kind of failures because it provides the opportunity to evolve and come out stronger. For example, the failure of Mt. Gox at the time the world's largest Bitcoin exchange has led to incredible security innovations and safer business models. Because of this evolutionary quality, it is perhaps unwarranted to artificially decrease these risks via regulation when innovation continues to make Bitcoin safer. To conclude, I would like to talk specifically about Bitcoin and Canada. Canada is gaining a significant competitive edge compared to other jurisdictions in terms of capital investment potential and job creation in the Bitcoin industry. Our country is now perceived as a Bitcoin-friendly world leader in the cryptocurrency space. This reputation will prove to be extremely valuable as global adoption of these new technologies arise. While data is scarce and hard to obtain, we know that we have the largest amount of Bitcoin ATMs in the world. Earlier in 2014, Canada ranked second in terms of Bitcoin capital investments. Canadians are a tech-savvy nation with a high rate of internet penetration and a highly skilled labor force. Canada also has the potential for competitive electricity rates, which could make it a destination for cryptocurrency mining operations. There are organized Bitcoin meeting groups in almost every major Canadian city, with at least 5 influential Bitcoin organizations. Canada has a very real potential to become a global hub for the cryptocurrency industry, which will attract investments and quality jobs. Tomorrow's consumer economy will heavily depend on economic interactions conducted over the internet. We can envision a future where individuals in different countries will exchange goods and services, conduct business, negotiate self-enforcing contracts, instantly and directly using cryptocurrency systems. For the foreseeable future, however, these interactions will be conducted using software and online platforms that are nevertheless developed and operated by people. There will be a global demand for these services, and as a nation, we can only gain if these services are being developed in Canada rather than elsewhere. Thank you for your time, and I look forward to answering your questions regarding the concept of cryptocurrencies, their associated risk and benefit, and the Bitcoin economy.